Hello, football fans. Welcome back to Goalside. One of the most fascinating things in football is a young star with tons of potential. A player that, after being promoted to his club's first team due to his excellent performance in the youth levels, suddenly breaks onto the scene and impresses everybody at a young age. Doesn't matter if they're a prolific striker with an enviable finishing touch, a tricky winger with blinding speed, a creative midfielder with magic vision, or an unbeatable defender or goalkeeper. We're always thrilled to see a young talent grow into the game and bring us something fresh. Perhaps for this reason, we can sometimes grow too excited at a player who isn't yet proven, and consequently we end up frustrated and mad at them when they don't turn out to be what we thought they would be. One of the players who was mind-blowing to watch but who ended up disappearing from the face of the earth only a few years later was Hatem Ben Arfa, the young prodigy, which was known at one point long ago as the French Messi. Now 32 and a free agent without a club, Ben Arfa is universally considered a disappointment, more so because of his terrible discipline and lack of effort in the game that cost him dearly. However good he's been in a few games since the beginning of his career, Ben Arfa really wasted the opportunity to become one of the best players of his generation. But how? What happened that led Hatem to turn from a pot of gold into a rotten apple? It's not an easy question, and to get to this, we have to go all the way back to the beginning of the story, when he was just a kid. It's truly the only way in which we can pinpoint what turned Ben Arfa's career sour. Born on March 7, 1987, Hatem's Tunisian father, Kamel Ben Arfa, was a football player in his native country. This, as well as the fact that the boy himself showed great interest in becoming a sportsman, made it inevitable that he would grow to become a footballer himself. Growing up and training with French clubs such as ASV Châtenay-Malabry and AC Boulogne-Billancourt, Hatem showed he was good enough to secure a spot at the Clairefontaine Academy. If you didn't know how amazing this academy is for young footballers, let's just remind you that such world-class stars as Thierry Henry, Blaise Matuidi, and Kylian Mbappe himself trained there at one point of their careers or another. Yes, Ben Arfa was that good. Although he trained at Clairefontaine, he was also playing his first important matches at the semi-professional level at this time for a club named FC Versailles 78. By the time he ended his training at Clairefontaine in 2002, at the age of 15, French coaches and the media were looking at him as some kind of a superstar. In truth, he was really talented. Olympique Lyonnais, a huge club in France, decided that he deserved a spot on their youth academy squad, and Ben Arfa was invited to train with them for 2 years to see where he'd end up. There was no doubt about it at all. In August 2004, he was offered to join Lyon's senior team on a professional contract, and Ben Arfa signed it without a thought. Even Ajax and Chelsea had been interested in acquiring him, and honestly, who knows what would have come of his career if he'd preferred to play abroad. Curiously, Karim Benzema, yes, that Benzema, was also promoted to their senior squad around the same time. Small world. Took a few months for Ben Arfa to get regulation game time, but he finally got his first goal in a couple of La Ligue matches against Lille, which Lyon went on to lose. He had a lot better luck in the 2005-06 season, however, as he assisted the winning goal over Norwegian club Rosenborg in the UEFA Champions League, and then scored one each against Paris Saint-Germain and VfB Stuttgart to demonstrate that he was finally getting to the level people had expected of him. Unfortunately, it was around this time when the trouble began. Despite winning the UNFP Young Player of the Year award, Hatem began having trouble with Benzema and also got into a fistfight with Sebastian Squillaci, an event which more or less ended his career at Lyon. Marseille came to his rescue, though. People questioned his move amidst interest from Manchester United, Arsenal, Everton, and Real Madrid. To force the move, Ben Arfa skipped training at Lyon, later going on to publicly claim that Lyon were an average team without class. His next training session fight would come soon enough, this time with the Djibril Cissé, who later left the club. Another followed, despite his amazing form on the pitch, when he was caught in a disagreement with Modest Mbami. Long story short, Hatem went on to argue with managers Eric Gerrits and Didier Deschamps, and even got into trouble with the club's president, Jean-Claude Dacier. This horrible and childish behavior would continue on into other clubs, despite moments of brilliance at his next club, Newcastle United, and one of his most ridiculous decisions was leaving England while playing at Hull City, where he was on loan, which led Steve Bruce to famously admit that he had no idea where Hatem had gone to. At this point, his career was all but in tatters, and despite getting chances at Nice and Paris Saint-Germain, where he failed to make a single appearance for a whole season, he ended up at Rennes as a glorified substitute, papering the cracks by lifting a 2018-19 Coupe de France in the final after beating PSG on penalties. Based exclusively on his silverware count, you might think that Ben Arfa had an amazing career. 5 Ligue 1 titles, 3 Coupe de France, 2 Coupe de la Ligue, 4 Trophée des Champions, and a Ligue 1 Young Player of the Year award. But the truth is that thanks to his constant fighting, lack of effort in training, and his desire to challenge authority, Hatem Ben Arfa threw away what could have been an incredible career with plenty of recognition. A troubled man now awaiting interest from big clubs, as he himself has said, having turned down West Ham United, Fiorentina, and Fenerbahce because they did not excite him. Ben Arfa is a warning to all the players who feel too good to follow orders. Joining a shameful group of failed prospects, which includes Ravel Morrison, Mario Balotelli, and Nicholas Bentner, among others, this player will have to turn his life around if he wants to make the most of his remaining years as a footballer. This has been our analysis on Hatem Ben Arfa's career. We hope you loved it, and don't forget to subscribe to Goalside. We'll see you right back here on our next video.